Good morning, Dallas Cowboys fans. IndyCarTim. It's another 7 a.m. Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz. Good morning on a Friday. The weekend is nigh upon us. The freezing temperatures are gone for a minute, although they're supposed to be back tonight and tomorrow. But thankfully, most of the precipitation is gone. I still can't walk on my back patio because it never gets sunlight because it's facing literally due north, and it's still treacherous in my backyard. But everything else appears to be pretty cleared up. Hopefully your drive and commute to work, if you're doing that, is safer for you. We here in Frisco did not have school until today, all week. And Denton, from what I hear, I have a son that goes there too. They're out of school today. So all 5 days this week, Denton has been out while Frisco just returned this morning. So we hope your week has been safe, exciting, fun, whatever. We look, I hope you had the week that you wanted to have. How's that? I think that's a safe way to put it for you. We are here to talk some Cowboys. Senior Bowl Day 2 update from Thursday. Lots of stuff to talk about here on the Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz right here on Fan Stream Sports and the Fish Report YouTube channel. What are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to talk about those prospects that have now stacked a couple of good days back to back. Remember, we talked about those, kind of previewing that yesterday. Don't pay all the attention to these viral clips that pop. You want to find guys that can do that more than just one time on camera. We need guys that can do that consistently. We're going to look at two names that could change the Dallas Cowboys draft board, even without the Cowboys drafting them necessarily. And we may update you on Zach Orr. We talked about it a little bit yesterday morning as we found out Wednesday night that he is in line possibly for a head coaching, for a position on the defensive coaching staff here under Christian Parker. So we'll talk about all of that. If you're watching live, make sure you hit like, subscribe, drop a comment. Who should Dallas target at number 12 in the upcoming NFL draft? Do you want an edge? Do you want a corner? Do you want a linebacker? Do you want an offensive lineman? You tell me what your specific choice is for that. Before we get into Cowboys talk, boys and girls, we got to do like we do every morning. We got to start the show with some levity, maybe make you smile, make you grunt. I don't know, whatever you do. Some of these things, they do make me grunt. Some of them make me smile. Some of them just, it's the face palm, right? But that's the point of the dad jokes. As it's time for the dad joke of the day. This comes to us from Jenna in Shreveport. We got Cowboys listeners all over the place. Got an email from Hilton Head Island that listens to the show. And if you have submitted your dad joke, by the way, yes, I'm getting them. So we have a backlog now. So we will get to those thusly. Jenna submitted to us. This is going to be one of those. What did one plate whisper to the other? Dinner's on me. That might have been a little predictable. I'd never heard that before, but it seems like that one could have been a little predictable. Thank you, Jenna from Shreveport. Your T-shirt is on the way. Sorry we don't have cute little female-designed Fan Stream Sports attire for you. That is coming this summer, from what I understand. Maybe we'll shoot you out something when that happens. So, boys, let's get into it. Senior Bowl Day 2. We talked about the drum beat. We want the drum beat winners, the guys that can stack performances, right? Not just the flashes on camera, the viral guys where you see it gets 1 million views, everybody's excited, and then you never hear from the guy again. We don't need those. We need the drum beat winners. And Day 2 is where all of this starts getting real. Day 1, you see everybody's fastballs. Talked about it yesterday. Day 2, you can start to see proof that those fastballs, those performances were not a fluke. And that's the point that I keep trying to hammer home here. Not one flashy rep that goes viral. You want consistent dominance by these guys. The first guy I wanted to talk about today, Clemson edge T.J. Parker. He is a name that keeps popping all over the place. He's winning one-on-ones. He's showing power. And more importantly, he's winning in different ways, not just with one move. We also discussed that yesterday if you were here. A guy could have one really good move, and he could show off at the Senior Bowl in practice. But when you get to the NFL level, NFL offensive linemen will pick up on that really quick and on film. It doesn't even have to be in a game. I think T.J. Parker's draft stock has risen here in the 2 days that they have practiced so far. And his performance in day 2 sort of solidified some things that people saw in day 1. If you keep stacking days like this, you're talking about a guy who could be right back in the first round discussion of the draft. And that's how fast this process moves when guys show traits and guys show ability, and they continue to show that ability. That's the whole point of the Senior Bowl. And then another sort of redemption arc guy, and if you do a little research on T.J. Parker, he did not have a spectacular year at Clemson in 2025, and you'll see some narratives about that. But what he is showing at the Senior Bowl so far this week is more of his old self. So that's kind of why I think that draft stock is starting to rise a little bit. We have another redemption arc here for you Oklahoma Sooners fans. Jaden Ott, a guy with big expectations coming into Oklahoma, didn't always get the usage that people expected here, but now he's showing he can contribute in multiple phases, including pass protection, which is a huge deal for NFL teams for a guy coming out of the backfield. Because, coaches love a guy that can protect the quarterback. What's one of the biggest things that I love about Jaden? I got so many names in my head now. I'm forgetting Cowboys players' names now. It's just greatness about the live show, right? Cowboys running back. Anyway, Javonte Williams. I keep wanting to say Jadeveon Clowney, but I mean, of course, Javonte Williams. You got to love the live shows here, guys. That's one of the things I love about him is that he is really good at protecting the quarterback. And he is very versatile coming out of the backfield. That's why the Cowboys like him. And from things I'm hearing, there are discussions internally now to at least talk about him coming back. And so all those narratives that we discussed early on here in the offseason about maybe having to replace him, maybe that's all a moot point. We can cross our fingers because that would be my first choice. Talked about Travis Etienne coming in. Give me Javonte Williams, and that's who I need. But Jaden Ott, guy, did not get the use that a lot of people expected at OU last year, but here at the Senior Bowl, again, he is showing that he can pass protect. He's showing he can catch the ball, and he's showing he can run. And, again, coaches love guys that can protect their quarterback. And that gets you on the field early in the NFL. Two more guys that sort of fit that drumbeat definition that we were talking about. Defensive end, Derek Moore from Michigan. He's shown a lot of power. He's shown that he can play very physically. But he's also got quickness to win in more than one lane on the defensive line. It's not necessarily an elite pass rusher, but he's got versatility. And sometimes that's just as good as the bull rush type guy that you can move around. Gabe Jasis from Illinois. Explosive and strong. The chatter about him, from what I was able to read, I don't know this guy a lot. I'm seeing his name a lot as of yesterday. It's the only reason why I bring him up. Everyone's saying he might need to add a few pounds. He's 260, I guess, and everybody that I've seen here would like him to be 270 to 280. But at the same time, in my pass rush brain, I don't want to take away any of that speed. And sometimes adding weight for these guys can do that. But he is a name that has been on everyone's radar, especially after day 2 yesterday at the Senior Bowl. And then I've got one more for you, a guy that we've mentioned already this week, and Chris Johnson, San Diego State cornerback. And here's what I care about, if I haven't mentioned it already, for cornerbacks at the Senior Bowl. are they sticky? Are they in phase with the wide receivers they're covering? And can they do that snap after snap? Because sometimes a receiver makes like a circus catch, right, on a guy. It's not because it was bad coverage. It's just a really great play by the offensive player. That shows up on social media. The defender gets blamed for it. And sometimes that defender can, get a little bit down about it. Chris Johnson does not, number one, I haven't seen any plays really made on him on what I've watched, but he seems to just take every play new, like you said. He has a short memory, in other words, for some of these things. So scouts are watching him. They're watching his process, his leverage, his positioning, his recovery, his hip movement, as they say, when you're looking at cornerbacks, which way does he lean? Pre-route and as the route starts. So Chris Johnson, a name for you guys to maybe target if you're looking for guys to follow. As far as the draft goes, you're probably looking at like a maybe an early day 2 guy in the draft. So look for that. I've talked about Texas Tech linebacker Jacob Rodriguez ad nauseum. Love this guy. I cover Texas Tech over at Roundtable. I covered Texas Tech for Sports Illustrated. I covered Texas Tech for Athlon Sports. I've been following and covering Texas Tech for 7-8 years now. And Jacob Rodriguez is by far the most talented defensive player I have ever seen come out of Lubbock. Not everybody likes his measurements, but everybody likes him, including the Dallas Cowboys are the reports that I'm hearing. They're not in love with his size or his athletic profile. Look, 6'1", 230. Roughly, that's not necessarily a prototype outside linebacker that teams want in 2026, but when you watch him play, all that goes out the window, right? It's the test on the field, I think, that sometimes matters most for certain positions. And when a guy can flat out play, you know it. His football instincts are things that you hear about Jacob Rodriguez. His decision making, things like this. So look, the league will always argue a guy's traits versus his measurables versus his production. But a guy like Jacob Rodriguez, when a guy knows where he's supposed to be and knows what his assignment is from play to play, from series to series, to me, that's important. Because a lot of those instincts you can't teach. And NFL teams know that. Coaches know that. Scouts know that. Don't know that I would take him in the top 20 necessarily just because of the other guys that are probably going to be around, but as a second or third round linebacker who can potentially run your defense and, give maybe DeMarvion Overshown a little more freedom. I would jump at that in a heartbeat for the Cowboys. That's definitely a conversation they need to have. Some day 2 prospects that Cowboys fans should root for, even if Dallas doesn't necessarily draft them. Caleb Banks, defensive tackle, Florida, 6'6", 330-ish, is the ultimate sort of Planet Theory player. There's not a lot of humans who are built like that can move like he does. If Banks blows up the rest of the week, tomorrow in practice and Sunday during the game, there's a very good chance he goes top 10. And Cowboys fans, you should be cheering for Caleb Banks to go top 10. Why? Well, because Dallas probably is not taking a defensive tackle at number 12. And if Banks rockets upward into the top 10, it pushes one of those premium players back down. And the Cowboys pick at 12, obviously. So anybody that can jump up into the top 10 or ahead of 12, really, that's a position the Cowboys most likely are not going to take. That's best for the Cowboys because obviously that could push a guy they want deeper down to them. Another guy that fits this concept here is Gennings Dunker, offensive tackle from Iowa. Cowboys are not taking an offensive tackle at 12. He is nasty. He's versatile. He's a beast. If you've seen pictures of Gennings Dunker, he looks like a freaking football player. Just red hair, mullet, big mustache, Curly hair. He's just big, and he looks like a football player. I don't know what that means. To me, he just looks like a football player. He's even been out there after his position group reps are over. He's a tackle. They were short some centers at the senior, so he jumped in and played center after his practice reps were over to help some other guys out. So he's pretty versatile. Teams love that he can play just about anywhere on the offensive line. If he creeps into the top 10 or 15 range, that's awesome. That's another name. If he goes ahead, top 10 or anywhere 15 to 20, he could push another guy, an edge, a corner, some impact defender back to 20 for the Cowboys to pick if that's what they decide to do with that pick instead of trading it. So this is why I keep saying root for quarterbacks and trench players to climb in the draft because it helps the Dallas Cowboys. We talked about Zach Orr a little bit yesterday morning. We had just heard before that he was potentially in line for a job. I haven't heard anything new on that. I just wanted to reiterate how awesome I think it would be for Zach Orr to come on staff here. We know he's not getting the DC job, but he does have ties to Christian Parker when they were in Jacksonville together. He was a beast of a linebacker in Baltimore before a neck injury cut his career short there, and he immediately transitioned into coaching, and his name was high on the list of up-and-comers for defensive coaches, and that's the kind of guy you want to have in your organization as long as you can, really. Zach Orr potentially, Cowboys defense has a really good year this year. Christian Parker gets pro looks or head coaching looks somewhere else. Zach Orr could maybe follow in line with him and be the DC for the Dallas Cowboys in a couple of years, but he's got to be here on staff for the most part for something like that to happen. And I love defensive brains, especially young defensive brains. I would have him here in a heartbeat. He's learned under Christian Parker. Again, continuity is a word you hear a lot about in the NFL coaching ranks, not just on the field, but on the sidelines and in the coaching boxes as well. If Parker pops, gets interviews down the road, you've already got another high-level mind in the building who already knows the system that Christian Parker has been teaching for a year or 2 years, wherever we're at that point. So I love the fact that Zach Orr, from everything I hear, chances are really good that he will be in the building in 2026. So that's it, Cowboys Nation. That's your Senior Bowl Day 2 pulse check. Drop your comments. Who's your favorite drumbeat prospect right now that we've talked about? And what position do you want Dallas to target at pick number 12? Just let me know in the chat, either on the FanStream Sports YouTube channel or the Fish Report YouTube channel. If you're listening to the recorded podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, or at FanStreamSports.com. Find me on social media at IndyCarTim, and we will talk about it there, eh? Appreciate everybody, whether you're watching live or listening later. All of you guys, we love you guys. This is so much fun doing this, even though it's 7 in the morning. If I could get Fish to change his live time, we might do 8 o'clock. And then I could do it from the studio down in Dallas because I'm there every morning. I'm just not there by 7. That'd be a lot of fun. But anyway, whatever the time is, appreciate you guys tuning in. We will do it again on Monday. You guys have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. Go watch the Senior Bowl. Go watch some college basketball if that's what you're into. Just don't watch the NBA. It's a horrible product right now. Just saying. It's my personal take. Still need to hear your mushroom coffee thoughts and your breakfast cereal thoughts. Throw all of that at me. Until Monday, boys and girls, we'll see you.